7 writing tips for moms. That sounds like an interesting video. Well, I saw a video by Kim Chance about writing as a mom. That was really good. But there were a few things she didn't cover, and I thought it might be worth including that here. So, hope you enjoy. Tip number 1 is give something up. In order to make room for writing in your life, you may have to eliminate something else or trim it down, even if it's sleep or something precious like that. But you know what? If writing is important to you, then it's important that you make room for it. And one thing I found is that once I started writing consistently, it filled some of my need for social time and entertainment, things like that. So I was actually happier because I was writing and I didn't need as much of those other things. So you can't have it all, but it's okay because you don't really need it all. You can still be happy. Tip 2, set a reasonable daily goal for yourself. Even if it's only 10 minutes a day that you have to sit down and work, just sit down like you have hours ahead of you because you will get something done and every little bit helps. So something's better than nothing and you can just rejoice when you get something done. It's really good. So some days, you'll set your goal and you won't meet it some days because the unexpected will happen, but that's okay. Other days you will surpass your goal, so it's all gonna even out. Just don't despair. You can do it. Number 3 is strategize with quiet times and nap times. When you have little kids and you need to write at some point in the day, you can't just write in the middle of the night. I mean, some people can really give up a little bit of sleep and that's okay. And sometimes that's what you need to do. But usually, at least right now, what I'm doing is I put my 15-month-old down for a nap in the morning. And then I read a book or a few to my 3-year-old. And then he goes into his room and plays with toys and looks at books for like an hour, hour and a half till baby wakes up. And then we get her up and then we go on with our day. Okay, so it's important that you try to be alone in the room if you can, because I don't know about you moms, but for me, when I see any movement out of the corner of my eye, I feel like I have to look at it and then I lose my train of thought and then, that's it. So that's what happens there. And honestly, when my kid's in the other room, he behaves and is a lot more content than if he's in the room with me. So sometimes I've tried that to see if, he'll be happier if he's near me, but it's actually not true. He actually whines and tries to get my attention a lot more when I'm there, but he can see that I'm not paying attention to him. So being in his room, he kind of forgets about me and he just starts playing and stuff like that. It took us a little while to get there. I call it happy time. I say, come on, we're going to go have happy time for a little while. And he used to be like, no, I don't want to do it, or he didn't want to stay in his room, but now he's gotten used to it, and now that's kind of this established thing, and it really makes it possible for me to get things done, because you just can't always count on other times in the day when that's going to happen, but you'll just have to find out what works for you. That's just what works for me. Number 4 is about playtime, and for myself, I decided that a reasonable daily goal of undivided attention just playing with my kids is an hour. So I shoot to do that. I sometimes spread it out throughout the day, and I find that that really helps them to feel content and connected with me, like, mom loves me, she spends some time with me. So if I go and do some work in here and there interspersed, they don't mind it so much because it's like, it's okay. And another thing is that they do need to learn to entertain themselves. You don't want them to go through life totally depending on you for everything, and including all their entertainment and activity. If they're teenagers and then you can't do that for them, what are they going to do? Go get in with the in crowd that's doing all the interesting, exciting things, maybe not the best things. So if they can take care of their own needs to some extent, that's actually a really good thing for them. So don't feel too bad about that, because you also need to do some things that take care of yourself, and then you will have something to turn around and give to your kids. It's not being selfish if it's within reason. It's really just being practical. And if writing fulfills you and it's something you feel like you really need to do, it's okay to give that some attention. You're not being a terrible parent. But remember to play with your kids. That's really important so that they know that you are always there for them. Number 5 is discipline. So they say the number 1 enemy of good writing is interruption, and I think there's truth to that. It's a little tricky though when you're a mom, because sometimes kids need their noses wiped or their buns wiped or whatever, and if it's something quick, mom, help me with this, like, just stop and take care of it. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Like, your work will still be there when you get back. But especially when it comes to addressing misbehaviors, you're sitting there going, if I just pretend I didn't see that, it's like they won't know, and then I won't have to do anything about it. I'll take care of it next time. It's like, don't do that. Don't do it. I'm telling myself this because this is a really hard one for me, because I have completion issues and I just want to work till it's done. But seriously, if you neglect to train them when you have the first opportunity and you're not consistent, then it's going to be harder for you to train them later, and they're just going to get worse and worse and be more and more unhappy. So do take the time to stop and say, no, you shouldn't do that, whatever measures you need to take, and then calmly return to your work. It's going to pay off. Really, it's going to pay off. Your kids are the most important thing in your life as a mother, that you need to attend to them first before everything else. And if you do that, if you do things in their proper order, everything else is going to be blessed. We have a guest for tip number 6. He wanted to be in the camera. So tip number 6 is about ultimate goals. And I hit on this one because I've wanted to write a book about ever since I can remember, but I didn't have enough motivation to make me stick through to the end until I realized that I wanted to help my family financially some way, and this was something I could do and enjoy doing. So it's like, why would I go out and get a job if I wouldn't enjoy that, but I could write books from home and enjoy that. I mean, it's work, but it's very fulfilling work, and if I have a talent for it, I should be doing it. So that's what I'm doing. Anyway, I don't know what it is for you, but it's something to think about. What is it that in the long term you can look at and be like, that's my vision, that's why this is important to me? And even if it's just that writing makes me feel really good, it makes me feel very happy, like I'm creating something, like I'm getting to live in my imagination a little bit and maybe produce something that someone else can enjoy. Or even if it's just for you or your family, you read it out loud to your family or something, like that's really good. And it's going to be a gift to them. They're going to be proud of you, and it's not selfish to do something for a reason like that, because if it gives you joy, you can turn around and give that joy to other people. But if you don't have joy in your life, where are you going to get it when other people need it from you? Tip number 7 is don't leave your laptop down where your baby can reach it, especially if your writing file is open. I learned that the hard way. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Tune in on Mondays for new content. I try to post every Monday and sometimes more if I'm inspired. And my new book, Little House in the Valley, Stories from a Happy Home, is now available in paperback from Amazon. So I'll include the link in the description below. You can check it out. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.